Okay, my name is Ty Musak, and I just want to give a warm greeting to all of our friends from around the world, wherever you're checking in from. We just saw the different continents represented in this little brief meeting that we have tonight, but we are just so happy that you're here with us. So thank you for joining us. My name is Ty Musak, and I'm the International Admissions Counselor at Biola. And I'm so excited to present Biola to you tonight, and we hope that after learning about Biola, you will seriously pray about making Biola University your next home. I myself have a lot of experience being a student in another country. I spent over 6 years in Asia in different, means, and 3 years as a student in Korea, 3 years as a student in China. So I love global education, and it's just a great opportunity if you ever have a chance, and you do now, to join a university in another country. It's a great experience. I know it can be challenging, but the rewards are great, and the experience can really change your life forever. And we are here to help you in every way to make the process smooth. After our presentation, we will have time for question and answers, as I mentioned, so feel free to use the chat box, write down any questions you might have. Also, we'll provide our contact information. And now I would like to introduce my teammate, Megan. Many of you have been in contact with her via email. She's great at just letting everybody know what's going on, and that's why you're here. So I'm going to pass it on to Megan.
Hello, it's such a gift to be with you today. I actually recognize some of your names from our email correspondence, and it is exciting to connect with you through this event. I myself was born and raised in Poland as a US citizen. I moved to the United States for my bachelor's degree at a private Christian institution, and I remember being scared of moving to a foreign space, away from my family and friends. However, during my time in college, I gained lifelong friends and professor mentors with whom I'm still in touch 2 years after graduating. I am passionate about walking with you through this process so that you can also experience Biola's rich community and academics. I am really excited to give you an outline of what we have for you today during this event. We are excited to introduce Biola to you, and then we also have a phenomenal panel of two current international students who will share a little bit about their Biola experience with you. Afterwards, we desire to walk you through our admissions process so that you can learn more about what it means and how you can join our phenomenal community. And then, as Ty Musak mentioned, at the end, we will have a question and answer session. So please chat in your questions. We desire to answer them at the end of this time, and we do desire for you to get the most out of this time. So now Ty will share a little bit more about Biola. You're muted, Ty.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So yeah, one of the most amazing things about Biola University, and that really stands out, is just our mission statement. And the mission of Biola University is biblically centered education, scholarship, and service, equipping men and women in mind and character to impact the world for the Lord Jesus Christ. Some of you may know that last week, or actually this week, it seems like last week, but this week Americans went to the poll and voted for the next president of America. And I'm sure that around the world, people are watching and waiting to see what kind of changes might take place over the coming months. But as a university, our president, Dr. Barry Corey, shared this message recently on social media, and it may help you just kind of understand our position as a university about this important time in American history. And our president has said, "May we be seen as a university, resolute in our biblical convictions, gracious in our disposition, generous in our listening, and radical in our love, and evident to all that we live out the gospel in both word and action." So, Biola University, you can see the picture on the left, 1908. Biola has over 100 years of rich history. In the picture on the right, you can see our present location. In 1958, Biola moved their campus from downtown Los Angeles to La Mirada, California. Biola is a private university located in California. It's a great location. And we are just minutes away from beautiful beaches, Disneyland, Hollywood, many internship, career, and ministry opportunities. If you like sports, a lot of people follow the NBA around the world. The LA Lakers just won the NBA championship, so a lot of fans are excited about that. It's a really great place to be. Biola has been ranked a top first-tier university and one of the top universities for international students in the United States. We're very proud of that. We're proud to be able to offer our students small classes with an average ratio of 14 to 1, which means 14 students to 1 professor. And actually 72% of our classes have less than 25 students. So you have a university where you're not just a name or a number, you're a student where the professors learn to know you, pray for you, care about your journey, your growth, both spiritually and academically. And that's a real blessing. Here are some of the top programs for international students, including business administration, cinema and media arts, nursing, and engineering. We also have a lot of students who come to study music and the performing arts at Biola. Give me 1 second here, technical difficulties. All right, you have some faculty highlights here. These are some of the professors at Biola. We're very proud of our faculty and staff. Dr. McHugh's business experience includes 34 years at Beckham Coulter, a Fortune 500 medical device manufacturer. He currently teaches finance, accounting, leadership, strategic management at Biola in the Crowell School of Business, which is a very robust school and it's growing, very popular. Dr. Ray serves on the ethics board for several leading hospitals in California, including UCLA. He's been featured on news programs such as CNN. Dr. Yuen is a well-known author and cultural consultant for top Hollywood studios, including Netflix, DreamWorks, and Lionsgate. And she is an associate professor of sociology at Biola University. You might want to know what students do after they graduate. We're very proud of our successful graduates and our alumni. Biola graduates are hired by some of the top companies in America. And being located in Los Angeles, there are so many incredible opportunities for internships and successful careers in a variety of fields and industries. Jeff Van Egdom is a tax partner with Deloitte and has worked with many leading private equity firms, as well as many large multinational corporations. And Dr. Damasa is now a professor of neurosurgery at Yale School of Medicine, but she was awarded the Academy Award from the American Academy for Neurological Surgery, which is an amazing accomplishment, and we're very proud to call her an Biola alumni. So you can see this large list of countries from which our global community is made of. This is a list where our international students come from. Biola has roughly 4,000 undergraduate students and 2,000 graduate students, and 600 of these students come from 50 different countries, which means we are truly a global community. And 10% of our population is global students, and we're very proud of that. All right, global student activities. We have global student programs to help international students transition to campus. We welcome students from the day of arrival, and we create connection points all along the way until graduation. And here are some of the cultural events we have on campus for our global community. And I know Megan is excited to introduce two of our very own global students, our international students at Biola. And so I am just going to pass it back to Megan, and I can't wait to hear their stories.
As Ty mentioned, I'm so excited to host two amazing current Biola International students, Ruthie and Hannah. Ruthie is joining us from the Philippines. She is currently studying in her second year at Biola, studying intercultural studies with a minor in political science. She also serves as a resident advisor on our community, and also she serves the global community as an intern at the Global Student Program Development. Our second panelist, Hannah, is currently joining us from California and is also in her second year at Biola University. She is studying cinema and media arts and minoring in art. She is also part of the prestigious Tori cohort and also serves as an intern for the Global Student Program Development. Now, I'm going to ask both Ruthie and Hannah, why did you choose Biola? Ruthie, could you please answer first?
Yeah, thank you so much. I honestly have chosen Biola because I know it will not only help me to grow academically, but also will help me grow spiritually as a student. Biola was introduced to me by my former church mate in the Philippines. When my parents and I went to visit and check out Biola, I was really impressed and so amazed how their education was. Since like my dad is a pastor and my mom's a missionary, they wanted me to study in a place where they know that I can be safe and secure, especially that I will be living all by myself. I live in the Philippines my whole life, and it was my first time living in another country when I moved to Biola. And all I can say is just it feels like home, though it's naturally like need to you can feel homesick, but there are so many resources like Biola offers to international students that can help us gain community. That's why I choose Biola.
Thank you so much, Ruthie. And Hannah, why did you choose Biola?
Hi everyone. Um, I also chose Biola with a similar reason with Ruthie. I also wanted to attend a college that will help me grow spiritually and academically. And how I got to know Biola is from a current professor from my hometown, China. And so we had a very good impression on Biola, and my parents visited Biola and they like it a lot. Though I wasn't able to visit Biola before I come to Biola, I had all the good impressions given by my parents and the professor and some of the friends that I have from my hometown who also comes to Biola. And so that those things set me up for applying to Biola, and everything worked out for me. So I believe that here is what God wants me to be.
Thank you so much, Hannah. And now I have a question for Ruthie. What is your favorite part of attending Biola?
Yeah, there's a lot of things I love about Biola, but one of my favorite things about attending Biola is the community, and the people are so nice and friendly. Um, it's literally everyone you see is like helping each other out academically, spiritually. Like people are just like helping each other grow and building each other strong. I love how I walk in class, seeing people pray for each other in the halls, which is like very unique in a way, like sharing what they learn in class or even like what they learn in chapels, sharing their personal testimonies, seeing them in the lawn or even at the calf or even like at the library, everywhere. Like people are just like so much like joyful and like very much like caring for each other. That's what I love, and that's my favorite part about attending bio.
Thank you, Ruthie. Um, Hannah, you mentioned even as to what a definitive factor was in choosing Biola, a professor. And so I do want to ask you, how has the faculty at Biola impacted your college experience?
Yeah, the faculties in Biola is definitely very encouraging and caring about their students. When I first came to Biola, I am very uncertain about my major, and I feel like I am not equipped as the other student in my major, which is cinema and media art. So I had an office hour with my professor for my first year seminar, and he encouraged me a lot and told me not to compare myself with other students, just compare you with yourself, and told me to be patient, and it's normal for freshmen to be uncertain of their major, and um, he suggested me to take some of the classes that will help me learn more about my major and decide if I like it or not. And so I did take his class and some other classes of CMA, and now I like it a lot. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Hannah. And now I will go back to Ruthie. Um, Ruthie, how are you thriving in the current virtual Biola at home semester?
Yeah, honestly, at first it's really hard, especially with the time difference. But now that I'm used to it and like things are getting easier for me, things are like fun and enjoyable. Professors are super considerate, knowing that with the time difference that I have, they usually extend the deadline for me and they make sure that I have all the materials I need. The best way not to stress about Biola at home is to have good communication with the people from Biola, whether it is your professor, even like faculty and staff, com group leaders, those who are students who have been trained and assigned to help global students, and other people who work at Biola are like so much like helpful for me not to like worry about being at home and also studying. I love how Biola gives free tutoring, and even we have like rhetoric center which like they can like check your essays and like read your paper for checking your grammar and spelling. Honestly, I am not a native English speaker and like I was born and raised in the Philippines, but Biola has so much resources that they can offer even we are staying at home. So that's what I like about like even like I'm at home. Like what I keep saying, there's so many things Biola offers while we're studying at home. So it's just like us having ourselves being involved to those kind of things are like possibly like the things we can do.
Thank you so much, Ruthie. Biola does have a lot of resources. One of the questions was that, and we do have a rhetoric and writing center. We also have a counseling center to assist students. There are a lot of different services we desire to offer to help students thrive. Now, the next question is going to Hannah. Hannah, are there any specific highlights you'd like to share about your campus experience as an international student?
Yes, as an international student, it's cool to meet other international students from different places, like Ruthie, and JSPD, and also from my floor. So last year we had a lot of international students and also tourist students, and um, uh, just a lot of cool people on our floor. So I got to know more about other cultures and be good friend with them. And we had like noodle parties and food parties in our floor in the hallway. And yeah, it's the fun thing that I will say will be a highlight. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Hannah. We still have a little bit more time for some questions, so I would like to ask some of the same questions, but to the ones that you have not answered, I would like to ask. Um, so, Ruthie, how has faculty impacted your college experience?
Yeah, honestly, I love how like in terms of like global students, Biola has like many resources. Like I keep saying that because like GSPD has like coordinators, com group leaders, and like people around you. Like there's so much like people that can be assigned to you that you will not feel like left out or like alone at Biola. The community is so great. That is very unique, and they would care for you a lot, and that's why like I never get like homesick a lot because of that. And faculties, like professors in general, they would not just like spend time with you in classroom, but also outside the classroom, which is like I find it very unique because based on like my high school experience, I never had one-on-one talks with my professors outside the classroom. But like at Biola, they really have those time um, having relationship, like they really value relationship to students. That's why like even outside the classroom, they make sure that they can eat lunch with you or like have read the Bible together and things like that. Fun experiences that I have is like reading the Bible together with my professors and some of my classmates outside the classroom. So yeah, that's like what I like about the faculties and like staff at Biola.
Thank you so much, Ruthie. Biola does care about creating an intentional and rich community with professors who not only teach in the classroom, but also walk with students in life. Hannah, I have a question for you. What is your favorite part of attending Biola?
My favorite part is also the community, and I really enjoyed the small communities and the big community of Biola. And some of the small communities that I really enjoyed is GSPD, which is the Global Student Program and Development that I and Ruthie are both working in this semester. It really helped in my transition from China to the US, especially the community groups that I was in. It was very helpful, and I feel like that I have a safe space to talk about things and difficulties in my studies and just life in general. And other communities are my floor, as I already mentioned. I really loved my floor last year. Um, and also my Tory cohort and the Tory community is really great. So we read a lot of books together and have very meaningful discussions. And also we have mentors in the Tory program that help us grow throughout the 4 year of college. And yeah, community is definitely my favorite thing in Biola.
Thank you, Hannah. For students who don't know, TORI is a heavily academically rigorous program offered at Biola for students who desire to read classical literature and be pushed both in their writing and rhetoric. And so they do read books and then talk with one another and discuss them. It is known to be a heavily academically rigorous program that students attend as well as the classes of their major. I will ask one more question to Ruthie, and that would be, how has faculty impacted your college experience?
They really have encouraged me a lot in so many ways, like spiritually and even academically. Like for me, I was so shy to like show my skills and talents at Biola. At first, I was really scared to like be in a position like where I can lead students. Like right now I am a resident advisor, and like my professors would like encourage me like, oh, I think that you would fit here in this work, and like they really strive to like really push me to beyond my limits, which I like about faculties at Biola, because they really are a great encourager for me to like just be outside my comfort zone, and that's what I like about it.
Thank you so much, Ruthie. For those of you who don't know, a resident advisor, and also Hannah mentioned a floor event, we do deeply desire to invest in campus life. And so dorms have different floors on which a resident advisor, typically a student, helps both create community, but also keep the rules in place so that there's a safe space for all students. And so RAs are a huge service to the school and are a mark of deep leadership. Thank you both, Hannah and Ruthie, for your involvement on our campus and also for sharing a little bit about your Biola experience. And now I'm really excited to move us to Ty, who will share with you about the steps you can take to both join our campus community and participate in what both Ruthie and Hannah shared, such as deep community experiences with faculty and professors, and becoming a part of different leadership opportunities.
All right, thank you so much, Megan. And Ruthie and Hannah, thank you so much for sharing your stories. I know it's not easy, especially in a second language, and But you guys did so well to represent Biola, and it is a tremendous blessing to be an admissions counselor for Biola, because we do get to help students from around the world, and we know that students have dreams, they have goals in life, and for us to be able to serve you guys and serve students around the world is just a tremendous honor. So you guys did an awesome job. So what is the next step? Many of you have already probably filled out the application, but if you haven't, this is the next step. It is free until November 15th, and it's a very simple online application. You don't have to finish the whole thing now. You can just begin with just providing some basic information. Then you can come back and you can complete it later on with our help. We will help you through every step of the way, and we are here to answer any questions you might have. There's no application fee right now, so it's the perfect time to go online and start the application. You might be asking yourself what the requirements are for joining Biola, and that's a great question. You can see from this slide that we do ask all students to submit a personal essay, and this personal essay just is a simple way for you in 1 to 2 pages to describe your commitment to Christ and your spiritual growth over the last few years. It's a way for us to get to know you and really get to see your heart for Biola and for the Lord and where you are. So that's one of the requirements. Also, for high school students coming in, we do require your transcripts with a 3.0 GPA. If you're a transfer student and you've already taken 15 or more units from a college, then we require a 2.5 GPA for transfer students. Also, high school students will need to submit a standardized test. And for transfer students, if you're coming from a university overseas, you will also need to submit a test, either TOEFL or IELTS. We have some different options available, but we're here to help you. And we know that it's a tremendous challenge, but we are here to make it smooth and to provide you with all the information you need. When it comes time to join Biola, there are some additional required documents for your I-20. The I-20 is the piece of paper that you take down to the embassy to apply for your student visa. And so Biola is prepared to walk you through that process also and make sure that you're ready to go. There are many ways to follow Biola: Instagram, Zeme, WhatsApp. Feel free to reach out to us. I know that when Megan and I send you guys emails, our contact information is at the bottom. You can reach out to us. You can book an appointment with us anytime. If you want to connect like this by video, feel free to make an appointment. We're here to help you. So please take advantage of that and reach out to us, because again, like I said, it's a tremendous honor and privilege to serve you international students. So I think now we do have time for questions and answers. I know some things came up. Jerry Paul, good question about the diversity on campus. I know that Biola is a very solid Christian university. We're very proud of our mission statement and our commitment to the Bible. But even on Biola's campus, there is great diversity, even amongst Christians. I remember when I was a student, my friends were kind of more conservative, and then right across the hall in my dormitory were a group of students from another denomination, and we were brothers and then sisters in Christ. So yeah, it's a great place for ideas. It's a great place to build relationships. And I put a link in the chat to some of the student clubs available at Biola. You would be amazed at how many clubs there are. There's a club for every interest almost. When I was a student, I hung out a lot with the Filipino club, Ruthie. I hung out a lot with the Korean club. We have a gospel choir, which is amazing. So really, there are clubs, there are communities for almost every kind of student background in terms of denomination. So that's a really good thing. I think we had some questions that were submitted ahead of time. So why don't I kind of pass that on to Megan? Do we have a list somewhere that?
Yes, we do. And one of them is currently in the chat box. And so
Okay.
I would love to answer that. Um, as Ty mentioned, there are some documents for I-20 issuance, and one of those is the affidavit of support. We encourage to submit their items as soon as possible, and the affidavit must reflect $30,000. And as we do talk about finances, there's another question that came up about scholarships for international students. Biola University does offer scholarships to international students. The first one being the academic scholarship, which takes into consideration a student's GPA and test scores. A way for a student to apply for this is to apply to Biola's general application. If a student is accepted, with their acceptance letter, they are notified of their eligibility for the academic scholarship. The scholarship can range from $10,000 to $20,000 per year. We also have the International Student Aid Grant and church matching scholarships that are scholarships that students can apply for once they are accepted to Biola. And also various departments offer additional scholarships to students, specifically the cinema and media arts. They also offer additional scholarships. There's also athletic scholarships if you desire to be an athlete at Biola and are accepted to the team. The other questions that we also received pertain to how the Biola community supports the international student community. And as Ruthie mentioned earlier, Biola offers various forms of support to students through our Student Development Office. This office seeks to support students in academics, campus life, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. We have a learning center to help students in classes. As Ruthie also mentioned, we also offer a rhetoric and writing office that seeks to help students with their college written assignments. We also have a counseling center where students are encouraged to seek support. And we also have student services and career development, where we desire to help students both look for jobs, apply for internships, learn various professional skills such as networking and preparing for an interview. And this is very helpful for students who are looking to graduate and thinking of next steps. But those are some of the student services that we do offer. Ty, are there any other questions coming in the chat box?
Let's see. Good question. So I've put in the chat box a link to the general information for our scholarships for international students. So you guys feel free to take a look at that link. There are many scholarships available. On campus jobs, very good question. Yes, Hazel, we do offer jobs on campus for international students. And as you know, if you are a student at like a private language school just to learn English, you cannot work in America. You don't get a working permit, but we do offer that service to our students so that they can work on campus, practice English, they can get to know people, feel part of the community, and also earn money to pay for their cost of living, for food, for whatever the need might be. So we do provide a lot of job opportunities for students, and that's something that is important to us, and also for the students who really need that. So that's a very good question. Here's a question. Students in grade 12 now in India will get their transcripts only in May, June. Would that hamper their admission process? Okay, so for the fall semester, which starts at the end of August, we do like to have everything ready and in around May or June so that we can issue you your I-20, you can get your student visa, register for classes. Megan, you might have a little bit more information about the deadline, but May, June, I think it would be fine. You know, we've had students submit things a lot later than that, so that's not the latest that we've received things. So yeah, just what you should do. My advice is to just go ahead and complete all the other parts of the application. Make sure all your documents are in. If we have to wait for a transcript, we can communicate with you. as you probably understand, every student has a different case, a different situation. So that's why we're here to help you understand how the process can be smooth as possible.
And in addition, if you can send us what transcripts you currently have, that would be very helpful,
Good
as
point.
we understand that graduation happens after our advised application deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we ask students to do is submit the current transcripts they have, and then if they are provisionally accepted, once they receive their official transcripts after graduating, we ask them to send those official transcripts to Biola University, because we cannot make an admission decision without a transcript, unless there's a GRE score. Another question that did come up is asking about if someone misses an English proficiency certificate test, if Biola can offer that through an online interview. And we understand that given their circumstances surrounding taking a test, they have become a lot more complicated due to a pandemic. Test scores are a requirement in the application for I-20 issuance purposes. However, we do desire to walk with each student individually, as Ty mentioned. And so we do want to understand that each person's circumstances are different. So we do ask that you email us separately with these questions so that we can attend to individual circumstances. However, we do not offer, Biola does not offer online testing.
And Megan, thank you so much. I'll just add a little information there. So I put in the chat a link to Biola's ALP program, which stands for Accelerated Learning Program. I understand that English is a crazy language and that I would not want to learn it if I was an international student. My kids, I have 2 daughters, they ask me all the time, Daddy, that doesn't make any sense. They're learning to read and write English now in the 2nd grade, and I'm thinking, oh, this doesn't make any sense. So anyways, I know English is a difficult language, and we do have an amazing program to help students that might come in a little bit short if they're, they come under the requirement for the TOEFL score or the IELTS. We do have this program, which is a great service to help students be successful. And so you will be able to join Biola, and you will be able to take classes towards your degree. You also have a support class. Usually it's English writing, but all of the classes, even the English classes you take, will count towards your graduation. It's not ESL. It's not just, spending time and money doing something that's not going to count. All the courses in this program help the students towards graduation, and all the credits count. So it's a really good program, and it's helped a lot of students, international students, over the years.
Ruthie, may I put you on the spot? I heard that you did take the ALP course, so
Yes, I have taken that. And like what I said, I'm not a native English speaker. And like, I honestly love the program for ALP students. And I am classmates with also international students. So like, I don't feel left out and like feel exclusive in some way. So, yeah, it's really helpful and it's very much enjoyable. And they would really guide you step by step throughout the process of ALP.
thank you, Ruthie. I think we have another question. Hazel, we ask that you send us the documents that you have so that we can best answer your question. Ty, I think you have been working closely with Hazel.
Yep, I just sent her a reply in the chat box. But yeah, we do have students who go to an international school and everything's in English. The instruction is in English. And it's some of them graduate from like 2 years at a college where everything is in English. In that case, we will, like Megan said, send us your transcript, send us what you have. We'll take a look at it. But in those cases, it is possible to waive the TOEFL requirement if all the instruction has been done in English. So that's a very good question, Hazel. Just send me what you have, even if it's unofficial. You don't have to order anything. Just send me your unofficial transcripts. We'll take a look at it. But yes, in those kinds of cases, the TOEFL requirement can be waived. Let's see. Any more questions? And it's okay now if you want to put it in the chat box now. We do have some time and we're here to help you. So. I'm getting a note from our office that, yeah, the college must be a university and not a high school that I was talking about. The instruction, language of instruction is English. So I know that in some countries, high schools are called colleges. So um, you just to clarify, we're talking about universities or four-year colleges. Any other questions? Okay, Hazel has another good question. Just a general idea, what are some of the examples of campus jobs? Ruthie or Hannah, did you guys have any experience with on-campus work?
So I worked in the cafeteria in my second semester, and now I'm working in GSPD and also as a tutor in the Learning Center.
I
Great.
also have work experience in Metzger office where I was a student assistant. And also I am currently an RA and I am also an intern for um, global SMU. So there's a lot of like job opportunities for international students.
What does SMU stand for?
Student Mission Union.
For students interested in missions, that is an organization or a club to go to. Is it an organization to go to?
So Hazel has another good question. She says, are international students integrated into normal dorms, or is there a separate one for international students? And I can answer that. No, every student, no matter where you come from, you're part of the Biola family. You're part of the Biola community. And that's one of the beautiful things about Biola. I remember when I was a freshman, my first year at Biola, I lived in dormitory. It was actually called a suite. So it was like 2 dorm rooms, and then we shared a bathroom and shower together. So 2 people in my room, 2 people next door, and we all shared the bathroom. There was me from California. My roommate was from Mexico. Our our neighbors across the way, one was from India and one was from Kenya. And that was my freshman year. Mexico, Kenya, and India and America. So that's the beautiful thing about Biola. And the students really feel that it's a tremendous opportunity, not only to improve English, but really build relationships and build community, get to learn from people from around the world. I think, Hannah, you mentioned noodle parties, or somebody mentioned noodle parties. I remember the Korean students used to cook Korean food in the kitchen, and they would always invite me, hey, come here, try this, you know, and they taught me how to use chopsticks, and they taught me how to eat kimchi and all that. And so, yeah, that's just a great part of being at Biola. We have a question from Heman. If we grew up speaking and learning English in private school and also take SAT, will the TOEFL be required?
That's a wonderful question. We only require students to submit 1 test score. So we offer options for students to choose. However, we just need 1 test score. So if you've already taken the SAT, that is enough. We ask that you have those test scores sent to us, and you will not have to take the TOEFL.
Very good. Thank you, Megan.
We are so excited to walk with you all through the process. I will also quickly chat in my email so that you can email me with any other questions that you have. Oh, and for Ty, we do have a question about the I-20.
Sure. The I-20 process, it might sound complicated, but it's actually fairly simple and quick. As soon as we receive all of your documents, we can issue your I-20 within a few days to a week. It's really something that our staff is trained in, and they're very used to it. It's a service that we provide. So it's not a very complicated process. Once we have all the documents, it's a very easy. And right now, because of COVID and everything that's happening, we have been able to email the I-20 to students. It's kind of a special kind of service that the government has allowed us to do. So I'm not quite sure if that will continue for the fall semester. It would be nice if we could continue that and email your I-20 to you. But it's a pretty simple process, and we're here to help you through it every step of the way.
Thank you all for coming. This is the last chance for another question, but if not, I think Ty and I would love to let you go a little bit earlier. Is that right, Ty?
Sure. And if you guys want to stay around and chat, that's fine. We'll be here. But I know that Megan has put her email contact in the chat box, undergrad.international@biola.edu. That's Megan's email. Mine is ty.musak, my last name, at biola.edu. And again, feel free to set up a time to speak with us either over the phone or by video. We're here to help you. So we're just very glad that you guys tuned in tonight, that you checked in from around the world. Thank you, Ruthie, for sharing your experience, and Hannah also. It's just, it's a great testimony to see how God's been working in your lives, and just to hear from current students at Biola is just really refreshing. So thank you guys so much. So I think we will sign off and we will check out until next time. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Lena, our wonderful international office coordinator.